We're podcasting.
We're podcasting. If you don't know who this is the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast.
That's right.
You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts, but do us a little favor and subscribe and rate and all that good stuff. Review.
Say nice things. Tell us we're pretty.
Because you know what? We're kind of sensitive when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
You know, save your mean words for people with more confidence.
Let me suggest some people that you can send some mean words to.
Your words will not hurt their feelings, but your words will hurt our feelings.
Yeah, because you could say like 1,000 good things, and then some B comes in with like,
oh, your voice sounds like you're overweight. I will be like, okay, great. Yeah. I'm out.
I thought you were going to say like screechy and annoying, and I'm like, listen, I was born this way. You got to hear my mom. So, Barb. She's coming in hot with a very emphatic voice. I will give her that. Emphatic?
Well, what you just did there.
Oh, she's got a real nasally, small voice that sounds funny when she's saying smart people things.
I think you sound funny when you're saying funny things.
Thank you.
Also, if you have not seen us live, we are back on tour.
Come on, go see us live. It's
literally the most fun. You can go to imomsohard.com for tickets.
Yep.
What do you get when you go to an IMOMSOHARD live show, Jen?
I mean, it's just a wild good time. Basically, it's like going to a Warrant concert.
That's actually really accurate, because I'm sporting a leopard print tracksuit that I think would have been something Warrant's mom would have worn.
It's the end of the year.
It's the end of the year, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to recap things we felt were highs and lows of 2021.
You know, because 2020, it was just a big
everybody's like
just a shit stain for everybody.
Yeah,
that was.
But didn't you think I think in the very beginning, we even talked about in the live show, we were like, oh, isn't this cute? This little pandemic, this little thing. It's going to be in and out, and we're going to have 2 weeks off, and oh boy. And then,
I
just remember thinking like,
what a shock.
Why is it just 2 weeks? What do you clean up in 2 weeks? Like, I have papers from my kid's first grade year, and he's a fifth grader now. I don't think anybody cleans anything up that fast.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were like, up months. And then we were like, well, let's look at the writing on the wall. Let's give it a full bang of a year. Let's go 2020. The whole year is a crapper. But I didn't know that would go into 21.
And then we were such big dopes that we were like, well, 2021, it's over with, you guys.
Yeah. And now I think what we've learned is it's not, and it's just adapting.
But a lot of my good stuff from this year is in reaction to 2020, stuff that kind of went downhill and then got better.
Yeah.
So I actually, I don't know.
Let's get into it.
Don't ever accuse me of having a good attitude about anything, but I tell you, I had trouble doing my worst list,
I couldn't have done it faster.
Okay.
I literally hit the paper and was like, and they're all kind of recent, but they're all kind of, I don't think it's going to be any of a shocker to you.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. We're going to do our countdown of 2021.
The first thing that I think we share of 2021 being the best thing of 21. We got Casey to come be on the team of IMOMSOHARD.
That's right.
And she's sitting in a chair next to us.
Was that 2021 or did you come 2020?
She came in November. It was near my birthday, but I think we officially started showing you how much we have for you to do soon after into January.
Okay, Casey, it's not on my list just because I thought you've always been here. I didn't know you were a 2021 highlight, but you certainly
Casey,
are.
Remember when we met 8 years ago? But then I was like, no, that was last year. Actually, Casey and I did meet in a comedy show. We were in a comedy show together right before you and I went on tour with IMOMSOHARD. You came to the show. You saw her do her stand-up.
Yes, I remember.
And then Hannah and Aaron both have decided to go to Bigger and Better. Yep. And Casey reached out to me and I was like, oh, it's a perfect fit and we need an assistant and we need help. And she came in and she was like, I can figure out a podcast. And we were like,
she literally rode in on a white horse, you guys.
And that's
not
just
literally.
Her cool blonde hair.
Yeah.
And her effortless
By white
beauty.
Horse, I mean cocaine.
Yeah.
And so that's why she's always got the energy to help
We'd
us.
say that. We want it to be there being a reason, but it's just because she's young and pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you, Casey. We love you, and you're the best thing of 2021.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
you guys. Oh, thank you.
Listen, doesn't her voice sound sweet? It's like a calming
beacon.
Because these two chickens cluck, and she's like,
We're like, we're walking in the airport and we're like,
yep. And Casey's like, does anybody want coffee? You know what? I'm just going to go.
Jen and I are like, well, where are the bathrooms?
Yeah, she's got those leashes on us, that you get for toddlers. She's got him hooked to our backpacks because she's like, what gate are you at, you dumbass? Come get on. You're on the wrong plane.
She's like, you need to stop fighting and get on this plane.
Yeah.
How many Chardonnays does one need before they fly to
Get that reflective
Kansas
vest off. You forgot why you're here. Drop the chicken fingers and get on the flight.
Meanwhile, she's like, you guys, before I come work a 10-hour day for you guys, I'm going to go do 2
workout classes.
CrossFit classes that I used to take one and leave early. But now I don't go at all, and I just owe them. And she goes and takes 2, and guess what she does? Looks great. Guess what I am? Up. That's on my shit list, so I don't want to get there yet.
I can't do that. It's like spin. It's all that like hard stuff. I'd need to have like a defibrillator in my fanny pack to do that.
I think you'd walk in and you'd be like, too much stimulus.
Not doing it. Yeah. It's too loud in here.
There is a wine bar next door, which I think is why one of the guys takes the class, and he's like, one of these days we got to get drinks after, and I'm like, how about drinks during?
Yes.
How about we go not
or
do
before,
this?
and then it just like hurts less.
I just want to lay there. Like, honestly, that's why I signed up. But Casey goes and she's like, let's lift weights. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got to clear her head before she walks into a room with the yap from every direction. You know what? We're like those. Remember that Sesame Street sketch where it's like one can only put his arms up, and they want nectarines, and the other one can only look up, and they're too dumb to figure out how to make it work.
That's you and me.
Yeah. Casey's the person that comes in and goes cooperation.
Cooperation. And we're like, what?
Oh, okay.
Why doesn't she have an open bottle of champagne
complaining about people whose hair we don't like?
Yeah,
we fix the problem.
We get something done.
Yeah.
You guys stay on point one time. We'll get a podcast done in under 40 minutes.
Your neighbors have nothing to do with this situation. Quit complaining about how they park.
No, you guys are the best bosses.
Oh, God.
Man, you have to say that. And I'm glad we put that in the contract. Okay.
Okay, so are you going to start with your highs?
Sure.
Go. Give one.
I'm high right now. Nope, I'm not. I wish. My number one, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Jen. Oh, not me?
What? Wait, hold on. Let me. They're not in any order.
In no specific order.
Not only is my brother and Jeff and Addison, moving back to the States, they're moving to Los Angeles.
Which you can't be more happier than that.
It's like the best news I've gotten, besides that I was pregnant and that I was getting married. It's like the best news I've gotten in so long.
Yeah,
makes me so
makes
happy.
you so happy.
I love them because, in LA, it's like, if anybody's like, I got a second cousin, you're like, oh, God
so
bless,
envious.
you're so lucky. I know.
I have zero family here.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it
it's
really
hard.
Sucks.
It's really hard.
And I didn't think that they would ever, because it's a commitment to come to LA. It's harder.
Yeah. Expensive.
It's expensive.
But they both are capable of getting really nice jobs. So that right out of the gates, they're better off than when I was like, what restaurant can I work at? And possibly what nighttime place can I work at if things are lean.
I'm going to sell advertising in the Crenshaw district.
Yeah, we both did our best, and you do what you can. I worked at Clancy's Crab Shack for 14 days before I became a production assistant, and I was at one time doing both at the same time, which is 3.5 hours of sleep a night.
And they were like, that new one smells like crab all the time.
Right,
so
and you know what? I was delicious, and they liked me, and I kept working. There you go. Everybody likes the smell of crab.
Okay, so we couldn't be happier. I'm sure they're listening. They always listen to the podcast because they're the best. So we can't wait to have you. There's so many people excited for you to be here.
Yeah.
Actually, people have been asking me more about you than me.
Yeah. Which
They're
that'll
like,
become a thing.
We're tolerating you to get to
a podcast in a year. Jen will be like, all right, they've stolen too much of my thunder. I need them to move away.
Maybe you guys should get
It needs to be a driving distance at this point. It's too easy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We can't wait. I can't wait to have them here. Okay, so I've got one.
Okay.
I know that this is on everybody's. It's top of mind for everybody. But on June 8th of 2021,
oh boy,
I made a life decision that has been probably something that's really given me a lot of ups and downs. And that is that on June 8th of 2021, I know it's in your calendars, I cut bangs. And I will tell you, it has been top of my mind. It has been top of Jen's mind.
It's been forced to top of mind for...
I want to tell you, there's been some really high lows. I'm going to say right now, without sounding braggy, that on the East Coast, it's like I couldn't do them wrong.
Yeah.
Not only were my bangs great, my locks of hair flowing as I did anything with speed to it was like I was a supermodel.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible what happened to your hair.
I was like, who am I right now? I need to... Then I had I did a bang trim without my lady. I cheated on her.
Yeah.
And I went, and it went too short. And very quickly I was in a bangs situation that was, it wasn't good for anybody. It wasn't comfortable for you. It wasn't comfortable for me. It wasn't comfortable for the guy at Trader Joe's that I talked to about it.
Yeah.
At length.
Well, that's, they look great.
Thank you.
I think it's your best hairdo ever.
Thank you.
I was always a little scared of them.
Sure.
Scared of you getting them. She can be reluctant to change. I knew
100%.
I knew one bad cut, we were all going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it has
true.
Been that. It's been that.
But one good cut, you guys have paid for it too, because you got to hear me talk about myself in a good way. So either way, the bangs have been my high and Jen's low.
Yeah. The highs are high with these bangs, and the lows are really low. Yeah,
they are low. But you know what I have to say is, like, in all honesty, changing my hair has been like a really cool thing, because I think everybody can kind of get in a style rut. Totally. I certainly was. And I was like, oh, I've only got one way to wear my hair. And then I was like, no. I'm like ready to rock like something else.
But I look at I've been looking at old videos. We've been redoing the Christmas videos, like posting those and stuff. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just always have bangs? Like I
don't know. Everybody's saying that, which makes me think they were like, oh boy, you wasted time. They're like, oh, you look so much better. I'm like, okay, this is becoming a Terry two-step where my mom starts with a compliment and ends with like a kidney punch.
I don't think, no, you got to take it the right way, because I think maybe if you had always had them.
And then I went with a different style of bang, which I didn't even know that was a thing, by the way.
But they frame your face. They make your eyes pop. So they're good. I'm not saying anything about how you look before.
Look at you get so nervous right now.
Shit.
You're like, it's me. We know that I'm going to probably forget what we're talking in about 3 seconds.
But I do.
The thing I think about when you change your hair, and so, Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Fleabag was like, hair is everything. We've talked about this all the time. You're somebody who has different styles of hair, and it all looks good on you. Like, you've had bangs, and then bob. If you look at my progression of my Mom So Hard up until June 8th of 2021, I was one version of a bob. And then I had the Keith Urban, which we don't need to talk about that. But my hair has just been like growing in one direction, sort of like all one length. And so doing something different is like it makes me look in the mirror at a different person, and I sort of feel like I can do different things. Yeah. That's dumb, but try it.
I got to mix it up. In 2022, I'm going to mix it up. And what I've been looking at, which we share a hair person, Monique. I wanted to get a lob.
Oh, yes.
And she doesn't think so. She's not sure about because she's like, you always wanted blonde and you always wanted long, which I get stuck in that rut a lot.
Yeah.
But I think I want it short. I want to mix it up a little bit.
That would be really cute.
And then if I don't like it, I can just get some hair put in.
Ain't that the truth? You got a lot of clip-in hair.
Yeah, I probably got some on my bag right now.
Jen's wearing a scrunchie literally on the top of her head, which looks so cute. But yeah, hair.
Because I found it's a Christmas scrunchie.
And she's wearing her oh dear sweatshirt.
Don't sigh. I had to go home after we recorded our last podcast about how many Christmas decorations. I had to go home and talk to my kids, take their temperature on how much they really liked them. And they did. They were like, don't change a thing.
Don't make me the bad guy because I simply stated that you have a lot of decor and furniture and decorative furniture.
But you said it like it was bad.
Don't bring that up right now. This is evergreen. Evergreen.
No, it's not. It's at the end of the year.
Don't put baby in a corner. I'm not going to be made the bad guy. They're going to all think I'm saying something bad about.
Listen, my husband says the same thing, so you and he can sit in the same corner and go fuck yourselves. Just kidding. Get that in there. But Delilah was like, was like, I like it. But Dash was like, no, I think it's really fun. He's like, I thought
oh my God, did you go to him and go, Aunt Kristin was crapping on my decorations?
I didn't, because I did think to myself, like, oh, if I'm not doing this all for me, if they don't really dig it, then it's kind of a waste. They are going to love it,
and they too are going to be express shoppers of Michael's. You've done your job.
Yeah, I'm going to get them Michael's charge cards for their 16th birthday.
That's the greatest place you could get a kid, because you know they're going to be like, all right, I'll buy a birdhouse. And you're like, I can't be mad at you. Like, if my kid came home with like a credit card full of crap from Forever 21, I'd lose my mind. But if it was all from an art store, I'd be like, ooh,
this is all
How do you not go in there and blow $200? I'll tell you right now, Micron pens are expensive.
So these
highs and lows of 2021.
I feel like are yours all really fun? Because mine are all like for realsies. It made me like reflect.
No, of course I'm not going to go deep feeling.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I mean, if you want, fine.
Okay. So here, this one takes a little bit of a setup. So my husband has been like such a huge supporter of what we do.
Yes.
He is like
always been.
When we decided we were going to do I Mom So Hard, he just starts doing research. How can he help? You know, same with Colin. They're like on board from day one.
Yeah.
And he has been working for years and years to try and get his third baby, get this movie made.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man.
It's a huge deal. It's very hard to get it made. And
you're diminishing it. He had the first script 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, it won an award. It was on the blacklist, and
nobody knows what the blacklist is.
That's what I was going to say. It's like the 50 best scripts that, and the ones that were above him, they all went to production like within like 2 or 3 years, and he's been
waiting and
like change.
But tell him who's in it, because it's pretty cool.
Can I?
I think you can. Why not?
It was in Deadline, wasn't it? Was it?
Yes.
Okay. The lead is Owen Wilson.
And the entire cast is everybody you recognize and everybody you love.
Yeah, it's so, I'm so proud of him, and I'm most proud of him because he kept trying, and he's still trying, and he worked so hard on it. And I'm just so proud of him.
As friends of Britt, we were watching him work this and stay on track and stay positive and keep pushing. And it's a testament that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you believe in it, it will happen. And he got to do it under all the worst conditions, and he made it happen, and it's beautiful. And I think that it's going to be really neat to see that come out, I
know. I'm super jazzed about it. And I also I want my kids to see oh, you're going to give up on piano lessons after a year because your dad's been trying to get his thing made for 10 years and he finally did it. So you got to and it's also really hard in wherever you live, where if you have this thing and you can ebb and flow with it and you can give up on it and, but go back to it. Don't give up on the thing and have faith. And, huge pat on the back to myself.
And if you're Jen, probably
because
I'd like to just give a lot of accolades to me because I've had to be patient. No, I'm just kidding. You've been super supportive.
I did used to tell him that this movie had ruined my life because we were going to get married a long time ago, and then that's a whole other podcast.
Oh boy, that podcast, that is not the best. And I just went, oh God, no.
Ooh, who opened that can of worms? Put those back. No, no, it really did. It was.
It's really funny that you are doing heartfelt shit because my next.
Oh God,
keep going.
This is okay. You want me to do another heartfelt one?
No.
Because the next one you might cry. So I don't know. I might cry.
Oh, God. Okay, here are mine. I'm going to get through mine.
Okay.
This is my list as according to how I wrote it. These are the things that I feel like were high points of 2021. These are mine. You've got yours, and you listeners have yours.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to say is I respect you, and your list can be whatever you want. These are my highs.
That's right.
These are my highs. Here's a few in no particular order.
Yeah.
A visit from grandma, grandpa, and the other grandma. That's on the list.
Yep.
That was nice to see everybody. Kids sports. Nice to have everybody back going to sports.
Yes.
Even with masks on, I'm into it. We returned to campus. I can't even go into words about that, but I know we will. Big high point of 2021 for me is that I got vaccinated. You can have your opinion about that. My opinion is somewhere in the world, there were little scientists who were given this job and they did it. And I'm happy to have it. And I'll keep getting it if I have to. And my kids are vaccinated. Yeah. And that's like the biggest.
It was a huge high point.
It was a huge high point, and I'm not ashamed of it.
And I unclenched my butt for the first time in months.
Then a really big high point for me in 2021 was when my darling Jen ate shit off of the dance pole during a live event. Because I haven't laughed that hard. You know, when you're laughing so hard, you can't catch up to your own laugh. And there is a minute where you're experiencing such pure joy. You're like, will this kill me? That was where I was at. You were hoping. And I was like laughing and trying to breathe through it. And I was like, is this how I go out? Well, if it is, this isn't so bad. And it was delightful. So that's a fast list for me. I've got other stuff, but that's a big one.
It's fun to make Kristin laugh that hard because her mouth goes into this like
square.
It's sort of like a
it's the ugliest big laugh you've ever seen. I have chiclet teeth.
It's
and a long oblongata or whatever that is
in the back there. Yep. It's like a baby screaming in a cartoon.
Isn't that in your downstairs?
No, I don't think so. Right back here?
Isn't it your vulva?
I don't know.
Your vulva's downstairs.
Your vulva's in your mouth. You're really got
I'm trying new things in 2021, right?
It's funny to make her laugh that hard, and because it's a big loud cackle, but there was no sound coming out. She was laughing so hard. There were tears coming out, and every once in a while she'd do like a so I could tell she was still breathing a little bit. Yeah,
barely holding on. Because you know when someone, here's what I compare it to. Have you ever seen someone walk into a screen door? First of all, they're fine. They're not hurt, but their face smushes. And there was something about seeing you and then seeing you on the ground and not seeing the fall, but seeing the result of the fall that made me laugh so hard. And it
was damn near instantaneous.
I spent 20 minutes on my eye makeup. When was the last time you heard me say that? And it was gone.
Gone right away.
My left eye was 100% devoid of makeup the entire event.
It's karma. I looked like it is
one-eyed Willy.
Because I have said, I remember getting in trouble when I was like maybe 10 for saying like, I think it's really funny when people trip. No, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But I remember like, my long-term memory does not remember a lot of things, but I remember somebody slipping at the bank and it being one of the funniest things I've like on ice walking into the bank.
It's so demoralizing.
Because they were up in the air about 4 feet and parallel to the ground, and then it was the most Scooby-Doo thing I'd ever seen in my life.
My husband did that in front of a full Starbucks in Chicago when he was 22 years old, and he was a real meaty guy, and so it was like big guy go down, and he was holding onto the glass for dear life, and it's like that thick glass you can't see through. So the patrons of Starbucks all crapped their pants and spilled their coffee because they heard this like 280-pound guy hit the glass and then hit his ass.
Is he coming through? Yeah.
You know, once you find out everybody's fine, the replay is what kills you.
Absolutely.
It's the replay.
I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I mean, I love the universe creating comedy like that.
And again, it's why America's Funniest Videos has been out before video.
Totally.
It's the why.
No, I don't think anything makes me laugh as hard literally as that show. And
I always go, ooh.
I do that a lot, but there's always like one clip in there where I'm like, well.
My favorite is when there's two retirees in a fake pool, like in a above ground pool, and they're like on their floaties, and then the pool dissolves into the ground, and then they go floating. It's every single episode has those people in it. I'm going to be those people.
I thought you were going to say when they hold like a little dog over a cup of water and it like air swims. I don't know why I can.
Oh my God. If you hear Jen watching something like that, she's like,
I love it. I love to watch, dogs go for a treat and bite it. And as long as they don't get hurt, it's just funny.
It's super dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are what else do you got?
Oh shit, mine are. Okay, mine are more serious a little bit.
Mine aren't, but that's going to be me.
Number 3 on my list, again, these are in no order. But because, as I mentioned, 2020 was such a shit sandwich, it was very hard my daughter was in kindergarten for all remote, all on iPad.
I think kindergartners had it the hardest.
All on Zoom. She was underneath the table like every single day. If I looked away from the screen, she was under the table crying.
Oh.
It was really hard. So she was behind. And then, so my best thing, it might be my favorite, is she learned to read this year at like breakneck speed, like overcame what happened last year. She's doing like so well.
Delilah's back,
you guys. She hit her like benchmark number of words she's supposed to read for the month of December. She's got a certificate, and like, I can't tell you how gall-darn happy it makes me. And I feel like I can be a real selfish, self-centered person sometimes.
You say that.
And I think I've never felt such pure joy for another human as her, and how proud she is.
Yeah.
At like, she knows she's caught up.
Yes.
Like, without us ever saying you're behind, she could tell.
Of course, they know more than they let on. You always know more than you let on, but you're kind of like, ugh. But I do think that like, it is, you guys handled it the right way. You're like, just keep swimming.
Yep.
And then eventually let the cards fall where they're supposed to first before we go making a lot of big judgments with kids. Give them until like third grade. Like that comes from my mom, who's a teacher, and I was a teacher, and I went and got a fancy degree for it. And I think we tend to try to hurry kids with their result instead of letting them take what all the information it is and then apply it and try it out.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to expect somebody to get on a balance beam and do a backflip? They got to get on there and walk. They got to get it there.
Well, I'm
but
not gonna waste my
sometimes
money
the
in
schools are like,
gymnastics.
yes, I do expect a backflip, and that's unreasonable.
Yeah. Kristin and I had talked about this before, and I don't know if we did on the podcast, but we were really worried that maybe she was dyslexic because she was doing a lot of like reversing. And so we had our parent teacher conference like 2 weeks ago or whenever those were, 3 weeks ago. And I asked about it, like, because
just to dip your toe,
to see if she had noticed anything. I'm like, what do you think about her reversing letters? She goes, at first I was really concerned because it was almost everything. And if she got started doing it on a page, it would be everything on the page would be backward. And then she said she's gotten better without any specific efforts to make her better.
Right.
And if she had like dyslexia or something like that, they would have to address it to improve it.
Right.
So she's like, I think it was just...
It's, again, here's what my mother would say, who is I give my mom a lot of crap because she has it coming and she's a good sport. But I will say, when it comes to her being a teacher, and everything she says, I believe, because she's had 45 years of experience.
She's seen everything.
And she's been to, has a master's plus. She could have a PhD. She just didn't want to do a dissertation. But she would say, friendly reminder that when your children are learning to read, it's not as simple as the ABCs. It's not just 26 letters. That's code. Your kid is learning to read code. It just happens to be the English language, and it happens to be an alphabet. So when you think of it like that, if you think about reading code and I think about reading code, my butt scrunches together because that seems impossible. So everybody needs to slow their roll when it comes to kids learning too fast.
Nobody thinks about like how hard English, which
it's
is so
the dumbest
stupid,
language,
is to
by
learn.
the way.
Because at this point she follows the rules, and if the word doesn't follow the rule, then she has trouble with it. But if
I
it's
think
a
that word should go away.
I know, if it's a word that follows the rules, and then she gets it, and she asks me how to spell words that I have to look up now.
I know. That's why Spanish is the better language. It's an easier language. It makes sense with conjugating verbs. Don't get me started. In my English department, this is where I would get real fired up.
Yep.
I'd be like, the English language is a debunk language, and we should start over. And then everyone says, don't be crazy. And I was like, well, I'm 19.
It was a hard year. Came back from that big time. So proud of my daughter. Okay. And 4, my in-laws moved to San Francisco. I know they're a little reluctant, but they're in the state. They're a drive. They used to be in Connecticut.
I think it's great.
It's a huge, great thing. My husband couldn't be happier. And it's nice that like, they're like, hey, maybe we'll just come down next month. Like that never happened before. It was like an impossible
because it's a long
deal.
ass flight.
Yeah. So it feels like family is like,
coming together
a little bit. That's great. And then I got a short list. But then my 5th thing that I had, my headline is that we get to go back on tour.
Oh my God.
We got to go back on the road this year. It was huge.
I wish people knew how sincere we are about that. Like, it's like when it was gone, I was really sad.
Yeah.
We had hit the road for what was almost like 3 years kind of steadily, which I think when we both came to the end of that second tour, we were like, I could use some time at home. It had been a lot. We'd had so many cool opportunities. And then I started to take it for granted a little bit because I was always happy to do it, but I was like, man, I'm really missing the kids. I'm missing out on like school programs. I'm missing out on being a volunteer. And then when we got back, I think I started the pandemic because I said, what I want is just a little time. I want a little bit of stolen time.
Also,
and then
she's not a strong hand washer.
No, but I'm healthy as a horse because I've got tons of antibodies. I'm 100% the reason they could have brought me in as patient X and been like, her blood fights COVID. We don't know why. And I'll be like, I know why. Because I will eat food off the bottom of the floor of my car sometimes when you're in a pinch and you're on the 405 and there's nowhere to
Goldfish, delicious.
But we got home. Obviously, under the guise of the rules of a pandemic is not time well spent.
Yeah.
But I really missed being around people and connection because I think there's this like idea that everybody talks about how introverted they are and that on some level, I don't know if it's become kind of cool to say you're an introvert. I'm uncool. I'm the biggest extrovert. I need to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to be home by myself. If I'm left at home by myself, I am so unproductive. Not only unproductive, I'm unkind to myself. I'm not like, boy, you know what I want to do is spend a little me time and I'm going to journal and I'm going to dig into some of my feelings. I'm like, nope, I'm figuring out ways that I could die. That feels good. So I'm really happy to be out, to see faces, to see people. I don't care if there's social distance. I don't care if there's masks. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'll take it any way you can get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're kind of like, I don't mind whatever has to happen, just whatever.
Whatever has to happen happens.
Yeah.
And we're not here to judge it. We're happy to be out and do it under any circumstances.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep ourselves safe and we're going to operate safely. But like the fact that we've been able to do it, listen, we've been on planes all over the country. And by the time we get done, both of us have like giant red sores on the back of our ears. And we are happy to have them. Like we're not fussy. We're not, unless we're in the airport bar, then we're fussy. That's just at Casey because she's walking.
Yeah,
she's got.
HD Hudson. Yep.
Like they're asking her. People Magazine is a cool thing of 21.
Oh, yeah. What happened? I know.
People Magazine was a real cool thing, man.
Gosh,
Straight up, that's cool against people. You're like, I know a bully that's going to read this, and that's cool shit.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about how, no, I want to be humble about it. No, I don't. I have eight magazines throughout this house, and when somebody gradually picks it up, I say, I'm in that one.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, that's cool. I'm going to go, no, page 32.
Yeah.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
You want to read about it? Take a minute.
No,
take a minute.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. For people for two ladies like us getting a pap smear.
No, that's a
easy.
big deal too. Yeah.
That's easy.
We celebrate those.
I do those on the regular, but to get in People Magazine, that's hard.
Yeah.
I am getting a pap smear this week, but that's not on my top list of fun things to do.
But it's,
But it's necessary.
You're checking stuff off.
I'm checking stuff out, you guys, because that's on my shit list of 2021.
Her vagina's on the faux list this year. Not a friend, not more of a
My
faux.
vagina has a microphone right now, and I'm just kidding.
So I put down my short list of other things because I kept thinking of good things. Was the wine getting launched today? Kids back in school. I lost 16 pounds.
That's amazing.
Flip side of that, going to be on my bad list.
I got that. I found yoga and gained 7. You found yoga.
I found yoga. Also, there's part of that that's on my.
The highs lows are they're kind of dip into the other side.
Yeah. So I overall really good year. Grateful for a lot.
Yeah, you know what this year has taught me? 2020 and 21 taught me. Do it now. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, stop talking and just do it. Like, Eleanor was saying, I really want to do horses, mommy. I really want to do horses. And I'm like, oh, it's expensive. Oh, it's going to be hard, whatever. And I said, you know what? No, I'll figure it out. And I did. And we're doing horses. And I love every second of it.
Yeah.
I go and I feel probably better than she does because she's doing the hard work. But I'm petting the horses and talking to all the hands. And
setup.
It feels really good. And it smells good to me. Like, the horse world, being a horse mom and a horse girl is like dreamy. It's how I grew up and it's awesome. The other thing is, you guys probably know this based on my hair because I made these choices all based on my bangs. I've really started to dip my toe into playing the guitar.
Yes.
And I'm not winning any awards right now. And
not yet.
I'm kind of mad at myself right now because I do need to like, I'm at the position now where I'm no longer just a like brand new beginner. I need to like stick to my lessons and do the lessons because I'm paying for them myself. He'll give me something and I'll say, I'm not going to do that. And he goes, well, you can't learn if you don't do what I say as your teacher. I'm like, yeah, but I'm paying you and I don't want to do that.
Customer's always right.
Customer's always right, sir. But no, he's awesome. He's an awesome teacher. He is going to make me better. I am going to get better because I believe it's the same as piano. You can dibble dabble or you can start to become disciplined and actually get at it. And you know me, there's no like, I don't like to be middle. I don't want to be.
She, like Delilah, is learning at a breakneck speed.
I'm trying as hard as I can. My
hands
hurt all the time.
Break nail speed because her hands right now.
Oh man.
Are and we played the other day.
God.
She played for a long time.
But I left my guitar at Jen's house. Again, cut to Kristin walking out in front of her yard. God, so dumb. Why would I leave it at her house? I'm so tired. I've had a glass of wine. I'm not driving.
Cut to Kristin texting me in the middle of the night. No, you need to go out and make sure it's there. I need eyes on it. Take a picture of where it's at.
Just like I could tell she was in bed. She was like, are you saying that you want me to go out to the office and see if your guitar's out there? And I was like, yes, I need you to get up right now and walk to the office and make sure. It's all I've been thinking about. You've been at a school dinner for 2.5 hours and I've been pacing. I've hit my steps in 2.5 hours. I tried not to bother you.
I went out there in my skivvies.
And I was like, please just tell me my guitar's out there. I've never loved anything more. Because I have to tell you, it's because of you. Because you let me, I could have bought like a cheap starter guitar that takes a lot to tune. And it doesn't feel good.
Other kids would have made fun of you.
Good. Other kids would have made fun of me. It might have said Fisher Price on the side, and that's not cool. But I got to get, because Jen was like, I went to a fancy guitar store and got fit for one, and it was perfect, and it was not cheap. And Jen and let me get this fancy ass guitar that I've played every day.
We agreed it's a good investment.
It's a good investment, but you're cool like that. That means a lot to me. So I was able to. I'm playing on a beautiful guitar that I respect so much and I'm like weird about now. And I play every day.
Weird about it. And then she's like, hey, what you got in the case when we're traveling? Which is bap, 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 bap. Casey's like, back away from him, Kristin. Okay.
My favorite is when someone tries to tell me I can't take my guitar.
Oh, shit, you guys.
It's wonderful.
This is what I keep waiting.
I can't be a Karen if I'm holding an acoustic guitar and it's against the law to tell me I cannot have it on the plane.
It's true.
It's against the law. You do not have to check your musical instrument.
Yeah.
Check the law.
Yeah, it's true. It's like asking somebody to check their toddler.
Roll camera. Yeah. On behalf of all musicians out there, I stand for you and in front of you, and I'm rude. And I will be rude on our behalf. Now, you're never going to ask me for a jam session, musicians, but I will stand on the ground and defend it as an honor and a privilege.
This is true because I did see her get somebody we didn't even know got his guitar on because she was like, let me go ahead of you. I'm going to have this conversation.
I just always look a little fragile.
She's throwing bags of peanuts out of the front of the plane to get a place for her.
You got to have a nice off. First of all, most flight attendants out there are musicians themselves, so they're super cool about it. But once in a while, I've done my research.
There is no math to you.
No, you guys, if you just sound confident what you're saying is true.
Okay.
All right.
So flight attendants are
flight attendants are musicians. Shut up. But once in a while you get someone surly and I say, I have a nice off. I'm sorry. I know that first of all, they always ask, where are you sitting? And then I enjoy saying first class. And then they change their tune a little bit. Not a pun to be made about the musical instrument because it does not matter if you flying coach, you can still put your instrument on.
Yeah.
There are 2 closets in the front of the plane and the back of the plane. And that is where your guitar can fit. So what I say to you is, how dare you? Open that closet. Let's move your overnight bag, slide my guitar in, and everything will be well. But if you give me shit, I will start crying.
Yeah. I also want you to know, flight attendants, that because you guys, you read about this flight to LA has to get stopped in Oklahoma because somebody assaults the.
They're being so mean to flight attendants. We love them. That's what I said. Most are musicians.
All we're waiting for now. We don't want to see anybody get assaulted or anything, but let it happen on our fucking flight, man.
Yeah. No one will defend a flight attendant more than you and me.
No, you're just gonna see like a ball of blonde and brunette, like just in screeches.
We might sound. We might sound like Muppets, but. When we were on a flight one time.
You're going to see somebody get beat to damn death with a guitar, man.
There was one time, this is God's honest truth. We were on a flight. We both had home decor magazines. I believe I was wearing a tracksuit that I bought that we can't wear for the show, so I'm not going to waste it.
Yeah.
So I wore it onto the plane. It was navy with flowers on it. Yep. Still not my style. Not going to waste it. I'm going to wear it 4 more times to make it worth its money.
Yeah.
So I'm on the flight, and I'm wearing a tracksuit, and we're bat, and talking about, I believe, sconces, if I can, memory serves.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, you and I at the exact same time had a radar go off where we could hear somebody giving what sounded like a flight attendant a hard time. And both of us went, wait, what the fuck's going on back there?
Yeah.
Wait, what? And Jen's like putting we're both frozen and listening, and we're putting her tray up as though we're going to go back and throw down, which honestly, I think that's how we would get flown off. Like, thrown off a flight is defending a flight attendant's
I don't think you'll get thrown off for that.
I don't think so. I think we'll
we
get
should
applauded.
all defend flight attendants. And why is everybody just in big fucking baby town right now, by the way?
Because everybody's emotions are everywhere and masks can be uncomfortable. And so everybody's feeling like high stress. I believe that's why, which, can I go to my oh shit list? No shit, bullshit list of 2021? Here, I'm going to segue right into what you just talked about.
Okay.
Why is everybody being big babies?
Why?
Well, I don't know why, but I'll tell you this. I'll never referee a day in my life ever again as long as I stand on planet green earth.
If you don't know, Kristin volunteered
for my husband's 3-on-3 basketball tournament, which I coached 2 times because it got pushed due to a COVID outbreak in the school. So then you and I were on tour. So I could not coach them as much as I wanted to, which made me feel terrible. But guess what? It also made me, I don't know, up for a freaking referee job.
Yeah.
To which I had to know the rules of a 3-on-3 half-court tournament.
Well, let me tell you, she knows the rules to that about as much as she knows that flight attendants are musicians. So a lot of it is just her saying it confidently.
3rd grade and below, I'm the most confident referee you've ever seen. Nobody had anything to say about it. 4th grade, they know the rules, and they come in. They come in hot, and they come in with attitude. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm not getting paid a single dollar. And we had pole dance for 2 hours. God's honest truth.
Oh, yeah.
Pole dance for 2 hours to learn how to do it so that you could fall down. And then I went from pole dancing to refereeing. I want you to find anybody else that did that. I want you to tell me.
I want you to find somebody that'll admit to that.
So parents, so we get there, and at first it's the kids that are giving me a hard time, right? Putting their hands out and whatever. Ugh. And I'm like, I've got no time for you, sir. And then my husband goes, hey, I want you to referee the 5th graders. I'm like, over my dead body on this. You want to get divorced right now?
No way.
There's 4 attorneys standing behind me chirping.
God, they're all taller than me. There's no way I'd do it.
There are 4 dads that are telling their kids, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. They've already said I've made some bad calls. I'm not doing that. I'm wearing a tie-dyed oversized sweatshirt. I am not going to referee 5th grade over my dead body. Yeah. So I'm at this tournament. I'm near tears. I'm ready to quit. And, but I don't. I see it through. 2 hours of pole dancing, 2.5 hours of refereeing. God. I am not having a good day. Mm-mm. And the second day, I told my husband, in the nicest way, I will never referee for you or this tournament ever again, but I would like to be a participant parent who helps. So I get there, and guess what? I can't not referee. I can't be not be a part of it.
Some bad calls going on out there. Yeah,
I'm wearing a bright pink sweater because I thought that would make me
stay on the bench.
Stay on the bench. It did not. Mm-mm. It did not. Mm-mm. And I'm wearing a snappy belt to boot. Finn's horrified, which now I look back and it wasn't the best choice. But this dad starts giving my husband a hard time, and he's yelling. And then this mom, who is wearing her jacket over her shoulders, like she's working for Vogue magazine,
walks out onto the court, Jen, to say that she doesn't think the calls are fair to a volunteer dad, volunteer mom it's a game and they are all up in a tizzy. And I'm thinking, is this because of COVID? Because we don't know how to work with each other, or because we are having flare up emotional minutes? Like, are you walking out onto the field during a game, man?
Yeah, that's a good question. Did we were we used
our way?
To it or something beforehand?
Maybe.
And maybe we didn't have to deal with people, so we're like, oh, this is hard once we're back at it.
Because the majority of the parents came up to me and said, this has been the greatest event we've been to. They were in tears. They were like, our kids haven't done anything competitive.
Yeah.
This has been so hard. We're so glad you were able to do it with all the rules. And yet 2 parents, don't be that parent, man. Don't be that guy.
Well,
don't be the guy that you talk about on a podcast being an asshole at a kid's event. And don't make somebody like me not want to referee, because I'll tell you, it's something in my blood.
Well,
it's in the blood.
You were doing the right thing. Most of the parents were doing the right thing. I say this, nobody exists in a vacuum. You aren't just a douchebag at one thing. It's impossible. You wear your coat like one, over your shoulders
apologize. The dad did apologize. I think he was just high-strung and needed to check himself. But I'm like, check yourself. Like, you got kids that haven't been around each other. They're so happy. Look at them. Everybody's so happy. Don't be a dick. And then mom I just want to knock that frickin' jacket off your shoulders. I would have, you know what I wished? I wished it would have been a one-on-one wrestling tournament, because I would have swept her leg and I would have thrown a half Nelson on her so fast. I'm from wrestling country. I know how to do it.
Yep. Shove the guitar straight up her beehole. I know.
Because you know what? Maybe she was a flight attendant who is probably a musician.
She could probably play that guitar.
Okay, so let me say the things that were a bad deal for me.
Okay.
In 2021, because there's not that many, but besides refereeing, the loss of our teacher, Mr. Glover, to COVID in 2021, it was in January, was the hardest thing our family's ever had to endure. We know that. We talked about it before. Because he is a teacher, I just wanted to say his name. I wanted to honor him again. His kids are doing the best they can.
We talked about him before on the podcast.
Yeah, you can listen to that one, because I get real sad. I don't want to do that now. Also, the cup holder incident of 2021, I'm still upset about. I haven't fully disclosed all the information surrounding this case, but I would like to say that I got royally screwed by a car company to which I'm not ready to disclose yet. But it had to do with the fact that I got a brand new car for the first time in 8 years, and I had a cup holder full of protein drink because I was trying to lose weight, and it broke, and it was seeped down into the brain of the car and cost me $1,400.
Oh, Lordy.
And now they say I can't put a cup in my cup holder. And I am upset and enraged, and I'm engulfed with anger. I'm not done with it yet. That's going to be on my 2022 list, because
it's going to come back as a good thing on 2022, though.
All I do is go to the dealership all the time and ask questions about the car, because I'm going to get my time back of that $1,400.
Just do something to keep her from coming in here.
That's right. Give me my money back.
Yeah, she'll break you down.
You know what they gave me when I got the car?
What?
A fancy cup. Not a fucking lie. How dare you? Anyway, my last 3, some pretty strong hormone shifts, figuring those out, 3 yeast infections, and pulled butt muscle. Those are pretty big things on my 2021. Yeah. That's it. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's so some of the bad ones that I have, I think are, I can find like the silver lining in them.
Well, it's Kristin. Here's some things I want you to change.
Dealing with Kristin's things. Hold on.
That's neat. That was so much phlegm.
Yeah, that was from my butt. Okay, so this one, I thought of it, and it was like the headline of my life for like such a long time. It could have been bad. My husband got a blood clot, you guys.
Oh my God, that was so scary.
It was so scary. Kristin and I were in the office. Casey was there, and we were working, and my husband said, "Can you come inside for a second?" And he showed me one of his legs being twice the size of the other one, and he's not the kind of person to do this, and I'm not the kind of person to say this, but I said, you need to go to the doctor right now. And because it's not normal.
Right.
That's not normal. And thank God he did, because he had a blood clot from sitting too long.
Well, what he was doing, he showed me, and I go, Britt, even I recognize how dumb that is.
Yeah,
I just want to say.
Leg wedged against a
He had a
desk.
leg wedged against, he's working on his movie, doing lots of hours of editing, leaning his leg against a metal pole under his desk, and then he put the other leg up.
Yep.
It's like, this is on the pamphlet of how to get a blood clot.
Exactly.
He's so lucky. I'm so glad that all worked out. Man, that's terrifying. That is not to be messed with.
It is. So if you have one extremity that's bulging and the rest of them are not, and it's not injured, go to the doctor. One of his good friends passed from a blood clot, so we don't F around with him. So, but he's okay. And thank God there's medicine and there's science and there's pharmaceutical companies for as much as they're vilified. And a lot of people, because they're working from home, are getting blood clots.
Yep, you got to stand up.
Yep, you got to move around, you guys.
That reminds me of a time when my pupil was bigger on the right eye than the left eye. And I was like, here it goes. This is how I go out. It's a tumor. Because I do a lot of WebMDing. And it's always a tumor.
You don't want to WebMD this.
It's always a tumor on house. So how can a medical show and a medical website be wrong? So I went to the ER, and this is where Kristin and medicine don't get along. I went in, I said, how much to walk in there? And they were like $1,000. And I was like, over my dead body on your front porch. So then I did what everybody does. And I texted my doctor friend and I said, hey, I got one pupil bigger than the other. Am I dying? And within 3 questions, she asked me if the medications I was on. She asked me a little bit of my history, a little bit of Colin's history. And she goes, is there anything weird right now? And I go, well, Colin just had shoulder surgery. And she goes, did he have anesthesia? I go, yeah. Does he have a patch on the back of his neck? And I said, yes. She goes, did you touch it? And I said, probably. She goes, did you touch your eyeball? And I'm just like, for sure. She's like, that's why it's a reaction to the medicine. Nausea patch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just saved $1,000 by calling a friend.
God, thank God.
But anyway, moving on, medical people, you're great.
Yep. So the rest,
Casey's telling us to wrap it up.
Flip side, that this is, cause there's, it's not all bad. It's,
clack.
I did lose 16 pounds. I gained 5 of it back. I'm bummed about that. But it's side fold is, it's not just 5 pounds. I'm like 5 pounds up, but I've lost so much muscle because I haven't been doing yoga, which is the other bummer that
we're going to get back.
I got to maintain it.
We're going to get back. We've been really busy and we were grateful to be busy because we were scared for a little while. And I think when 21 came on and we could start writing that live show and we were getting on our feet and we were like, getting to do stuff, we were like, all right, we just need to keep going when the going is good. And I think that's what we did. And I think that's what you should do.
And that's why we need a break.
That's why we need a break.
Right after I say my last worst thing of 2021. Coke Zero is almost entirely out of stock everywhere. It's been like the supply chain has been deteriorating for months. I've noticed it. And also cash. I went to 3 cash machines last night.
There's no cash?
There's not. There's like a weird cash shortage.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So on that note, well, I've got an idea, but I'm not going to share it here because I need to make sure I can copyright it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Shark Tank ideas. You know that?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not going to. Is that on your worst list?
It's just hearing about them. That's all.
Wait, she has 4 pages of lists.
Wait. This one is just called...
Some of those are great. Some of my ideas are
great.
How dare you?
Some of the ideas are great. Yeah.
How dare you?
Some of them, yeah.
What's your favorite?
Of your ideas?
She's like, deer in a head. You guys, she's like, oh, all of them?
Sometimes I gotta listen, you guys. Shoot.
I'm going to say this because I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to pretend it's great. One of the highlights of 2021 is I'm going to New York with my family.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it later.
Yep.
I'm sure someone's going to be like, why would we go see Hamilton? I pulled out all the stops to get Hamilton.
It's going to be
tickets.
amazing. It's going to be a trip for the record books.
All I want to do is go see Christmas lights and go see Hamilton and go eat good food with my family.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's it.
It's going to be amazing.
All right, well.
All right, we did it, everybody.
Everybody take stock of 21 and get ready for 22 because it's the year of the mom. That's what we keep saying. The year of the mom. You're doing great. If you're doing it at a 6, you're great.
Yep.
You're
nice
4,
to
you're
yourself.
fine.
All right.
We love you.
Happy New Year. Woo!
Clack, 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 clack.